And welcome to the last in the live series supporting the Luminary Business Blueprint, the alternative way to planning and setting yourself up in business for success using the phases of the moon. It is different, it's not for everyone, but nor is convention and constructs that we have potentially all grown up with. So we need something that works for as many people as possible, and it might be different to what you have come across before. I'm Karina Rick, and I am a coach that works with women to support their ascension to their next highest evolution realm of themselves. So generally already successful and looking for something different because they know, you can't get to where you want to go doing what you've already done. It's going to require something different, or you'd already be there. So I am sharing with you on these lives a bit of a deep dive while we're live on what's actually contained in the PDF. The PDF is free. You can download that from somewhere around from where you're watching this. Hello if you're on Facebook, hello if you're on YouTube. And you, of course, can watch this at any time because the basic principles of lunar cycles is going to be the same month in, month out, cycle in, cycle out. I am sharing, because why would I not, what's happening celestial speaking now as well. So if you are watching in a contemporary way, then you get everything. You get what this all means, a bit of interaction, and you get the energetics of the moment too. And oh my word, there is some big energy out there right now. So let's start with then. So we are now in the last phase of the current lunar cycle. I started these lives back on the 4th of August when we had the new moon. And we are now in the final phase as we see less and less of the moon in the sky at night. So we're getting to the smallest crescent before we have a new moon. And in the UK, that new moon is overnight between the 2nd and 3rd. It's technically the 3rd of September at 2:55 in the morning. That's like overnight. So that's Monday and Tuesday. And so as we're getting closer to that new moon, we're seeing less and less. And with that comes with a shift in the energy. And the entire, I guess, the first principle behind setting yourself up for success by planning around the lunar cycle using the blueprint is that it's an acknowledgement that there is a different energy as we go through that cycle. It's a natural cycle. It's typically 28, 29 days for each cycle. And although there's movement with the moon in terms of where it is in the sky at night, which constellation it's in, which zodiac it's in, sign of the zodiac. And of course, there's all the other celestial energy happening as well. So it's always, that level is always different. But the pattern of going from a new moon, so we can't see anything in the sky, we don't see any of the moon, right then through to building up to the full moon, and then the decreasing back down. That happens continuously. And understanding the energy, the shifts that are happening in that moment at that time enables you to work with and be in flow with that energy as opposed to against it. And it gives you just a different, a different framework, it's a different punctuation through the month when it comes to your planning. And that gives you a power. That gives you an opportunity and an empowerment to step into your greatest. So that's why I'm sharing it. And it is something that I do. And have done for a long time. And in the PDF, you've also got templates for planning. And now this was in relation to August, but the intentions are on page 17, the action for intentions on page 18, and the planner, weekly planner on 19. They would apply every cycle. Okay, so this is now the phase where I guess its headline is embracing renewal. So that's the theme of the next few days up until that new moon. And it's really one for deep introspection. This isn't the rah outward energy moment at all. This is definitely inward. This is definitely introversion. And it's about shedding light on any lingering doubts and fears. Now, from the context of how we started this conversation, that could be doubts and fears about you achieving the intentions that you set, your goals for the cycle and or beyond, but the progress that you've made in the cycle. So it's definitely putting those to bed, out of the way, getting rid, shedding any of the doubts or I guess is where you have more doubt, less belief. We've got to reverse that. And again, it's like how you set yourself up for success, and that's paramount. So when you're doing the introspection piece, it is looking back on what is working for you and paying attention to the meaning that you may be giving to the results that you have, especially if they're not as far forward as you would want them to be. It very much is a point of view, take that from a learning perspective so that you can go again, because this is a phase. And so whilst it can feel heavy, it can feel withheld, you're going inward, it's not going to last forever. That's the whole point. It's just a phase. But it's to get the most out of each phase and to help that phase help you in achieving what you're setting out to the greatest level of success. So staying in your power is crucial. And because when the mind monkeys take over, or when that fear creeps in, when the doubt creeps in, that's our first way of giving away our power. So it's about recognizing and calling that out within ourselves to not let that happen. Easier said than done, but the practical ways of doing that, definitely journaling, definitely pondering and wondering. So as you go, if you're out for a walk, just reflecting on, thinking through, feeling into, how are you not going to give into the mean girl voice or the mind monkeys that are maybe amplifying the doubt and numbing out or tuning out the belief. So keep the belief, keep the faith, keep the belief, and kind of dampen down that doubt. And that's it doesn't have to be more complicated than that. It's having an awareness that it could be happening, and be then working through whatever it is that you need to, because you'll know the specifics, what it is that you need to rebalance, like an equalizer. How do you rebalance and take down the doubt, take out the fear? That's definitely what you want to be doing now if you are feeling that kind of darker, heavier aspect of this phase. Definitely not a time to be starting anything new. This is like a consolidation, a getting ready for the new. The new will, comes in from next week. So this is all about that kind of definitely a review and it might not be that the intentions and goals that you set are naturally concluding right now. They absolutely might not be, i.e. they've got a longer time frame. But paying attention and being very discerning as to what has happened in the cycle for you to date, what has worked, what are you doing again, how are you going again, how are you protecting your energy, How are you going to amplify and leverage your energy and your power for the next cycle? Are all the things to hold on to in light of setting new intentions, new goals from Monday, Tuesday next week. So that's very much about, it's being very deliberate, very, like I said, very discerning, taking all the learns, standing in your absolute highest power, truest power, which is knowing what is working for you, what are you applying, what are you not, what are you shedding, what are you not going to allow to happen again, so that you get the best out of the cycle. You finish as strongly as you can and you start next cycle as strongly as you can. And that's fundamentals for setting up for success. So having all that awareness of what may be detracting from you, where is the energy leak, where is the power leak, and how can you reclaim that, take the lessons, take the learns, take the progress, and then ready to go again in a few days' time. Now is not the time to start anything new. And I think what there's a vibe of self-care every time of this phase in every cycle, but in particular we're heading into the new moon next week, which is a new moon in Virgo, absolutely loaded with the vibe for self-care. And I often talk about, self-care really is self-leadership, and how are you leading yourself? And that works in so many different ways. It is the example you're setting. It is the way that you are enabling or honouring what matters to you, your health, your rest and recovery, what makes you stronger, what gives you core strength, the conditioning that you do. So it's all of that absolutely speaks to self-leadership, and that ultimately speaks to your success. So really a very poignant sort of golden thread through what you're doing, how you're leading yourself, and the success that you're going to experience off the back of that. So the Virgo new moon is very much that is a really key theme for us to sort of all of us to really lean into from next week, or if not, you can do it now, but it will be called to that by light of that moon in Virgo, that new moon in Virgo. And although I'm not going to talk about the new moon per se, because we covered that phase back on the 4th of August, so the concept will still change. But I think it's important to, as we're closing out in real time this cycle, any cycle you want to be talking about self-care, and a new moon in Virgo at the beginning of September is always going to ask that of you anyway. So it's really elegant, beautiful time, divine timing as always. There is a lot happening next week, and just before we get into the new moon, so right at the end of this phase in real time, we've got a major shift, a major transition happening, and that is the planet Pluto is going back into Capricorn. It's had this dance between Capricorn and Aquarius for a while now, kind of oscillating. It's in retrograde, and it's been doing this, it's been doing that. Change, just a lot going on, and it's a big change. Pluto is the Lord of the Underworld for a start. That's a pertinent intro, isn't it? But also, that's about power and transformation, death and rebirth. So considering, just holding that in the context of the cycle finishing to start again, divine timing, but potent and powerful. So kind of, you can use different time horizons on this. You could just use the cycle this lunar cycle that I've been working through, or you could go beyond, go further back, but very much what is coming to an end, what is from a transformation perspective, from a enabling and empowering perspective, what do you need to close down, shut down, get rid, shed, to then evolve into something, phoenix rising, How are you going to do that? What is going to really help you do that? What's going to help you soar? You need to get rid of something first. There's some stuff that needs to be jettisoned. Understanding what that could be is definitely a worthwhile meditation, journal, ponder and wonder, all of the above. I will be doing a lot more on the astrology for next week. The new moon in particular, that Pluto transition, and some there's an awful lot. This has been a busy week, astrology speaking in real time, and what is about to happen next week, 1st of September through to the end of that week. A lot going on. So if you want to know more how that sort of plays out for you, your ultimate success, how do you work with that energy? What do you do to protect yourself? What do you do to propel yourself forward? Knowing all of what's going on, then join me in my free but exclusive and private Facebook group, Stars and Shadows, where, like I said, I'll give live updates, free training on what this all means, how you can use it, how you can work with it, how you can step into your passion, purpose, and power, understanding the energetics, understanding the stealth in our subconscious, i.e., the shadows, and using everything around the energetics and what makes you true you, your authenticity, to then step forward, evolve, grow, find freedom and fulfillment, express your highest potential. That's what I do. So join me over for free in Stars and Shadows, and I would love to support you in all your future successes with the energetics, the psychology, the astrology, the alchemy of soul, spirit, and strategy, all for your greatest success. Who doesn't want that? So thank you so much. If you have followed through on, maybe this is the first one you've watched, the first live Luminary Business Blueprint, so you can go back and watch the others. This is number 8. So there's seven before this one. If you haven't already download your free PDF, links in and around where you're watching this. And I wish you the ultimate success. Take care of you.